Okay, welcome everybody to this presentation. This is for Meetup organizers. My name is Danna Crawford, and I just became the Strategic Director at WorthPoint Inc. And I'm very proud to be on the team. It's an awesome winning team. I'm still a full-time eBay seller. I had a ton of items to ship today, so I'm doing both. And I'll always be an eBay seller because I know those of you that sell on eBay know once it's in your heart, you can't stop no matter what. So we're going to keep selling on eBay. All right, so this presentation is dedicated to Meetup organizers as part of the WorthPoint Reseller Program, which is my baby. It's what I'm in charge of. So the agenda today, we're going to talk about now that you're a reseller, how can you promote it and how that's going to work. Those of you that aren't resellers yet, no worries. I'm going to walk you through all of that. I'm going to show you how to do easy code insertion. And we're going to talk about meeting suggestions for your meetup. I'm going to touch just a dab on email marketing because I know how powerful it works for myself as a meetup organizer. And I'm going to give you tips on how to grow your membership for your meetups. And then we're going to talk about the webinar sharing program that I'm going to be offering. And of course, we'll have Q&A. So again, as we're going along, you want to ask a question, just type it in, but I'm not going to read them until the end. And then I'll go over them all. And then if by chance your question gets answered, then go ahead and remove it from the chat. So first of all, the WorthPoint Reseller Program just launched last Thursday. So we're still tweaking it. There's a few little things here and there that we have, but it's up and swing and full action. I've been a reseller myself personally since they launched last couple of years, I guess it's been running. And I became one of their top resellers, which means I was making a nice chunk of change every month. Some months I'd do $75, other months I'd do $300. So it just depended on how much I was out there hustling and marketing. And then it just started happening. After I put my links out there and I had them sitting around the internet, it's very little work. It just adds up for you. So those of you that are not signed up, you're just going to go to worthpoint.com/reseller-application and you can get signed up. And don't worry, I'm going to have a follow-up email to everybody as well that will have the direct link. So when you go to create your account, it's pretty straightforward. First name, last name, you fill everything out. But what I've learned is the confusing part is where it reads reseller code. And some people are calling me up and saying, hey, Danna, I don't know my reseller code. What is it? Well, that simply means that's for you to create your official code, which will be your brand. Personally, I called myself Power Selling Mom because that's my brand. And that's what I made my reseller code, just Power Selling Mom. You could use your meetup name, or I suggest if you have an eBay store, you use the name of your eBay store, or if you're branding yourself, trying to build yourself a brand, then you should definitely use that. So then people will continue to recognize you, and that's important. And then you just go ahead and fill everything out, and then once you're officially in, you've been approved, then you'll receive a follow-up email that'll say, hey, welcome to the reseller program, now you're in, and then you'll receive a link, which is where you're going to go to log in. And it's basically worthpoint.tapaffiliate.com/login. And once you log in, this is your dashboard. This is your home base. And you'll see there's a little, there's information on the front. And please know there is a place for you to click to schedule a phone call with me. And that phone scheduler matches my Google Calendar. So I encourage people, if you want to have a question or anything like that, I'm here for you. You just click on that, and then it'll automatically match my calendar, and you can pick out a day and time that's convenient for you. And then when it's time for us to get on the phone, you just dial my number and call me, and I'll be waiting. So the only thing is I don't call you. I've learned that if I call people, they're never ready, and so I just carry on and I wait for people to call me. And if you don't call me, well, then you have to schedule another time. But it works out really well for my system. Now, on the left-hand side, you're going to see this is your dashboard. This is it. And then you'll see reporting, assets, multi-level marketing, conversions, sources, and payouts. That's our favorite place, is the payouts. Now, on this list of things, this dashboard's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I know a couple of you have been in the reseller program last time, and it was kind of crazy confusing. So this is not crazy confusing. This is really straightforward. The only thing I want to point out is on the multi-level marketing, that tab is going to be going away because there is no MLM, multi-level marketing, in this program. So you can click on it and go look at it, but don't use any links and don't participate in it because it's not there. We don't have an MLM program. Now, the thing you want to pay attention to is, to get started, is first the assets. And your assets, it's going to bring you to your official code area where you're going to see banners, there's text links, there's Facebook posts. They have made this so darn easy for us to be marketers that if you just click on right directly from the Facebook tab, it'll automatically shoot out your code onto Facebook or Twitter or Facebook or Google Plus or LinkedIn or Pinterest or an email. So if you get somebody that contacts you and says, hey, what's all about this WorthPoint thing, and you can email them and say, hey, I'm going to send you a quick email, and just log into your account and email it out. But what we're concerned about today is our Meetup group. So I'm going to be doing another webinar that's going to go into great detail about the reseller program. But right now I want to just show you how you can add this banner to your Meetup. So you pick out which banner you'd like, first of all. And if you want to insert it on a website, you would simply highlight the embedded code, and then you would paste it in your website. However, our Meetup system isn't set up that way. So what we have to do is right-click over the code, or over the image that we want. And when you right-click, you'll see the option to save image as. And when you click on that, save image as, it'll actually allow you to save that graphic to your computer. And now you can use it wherever you like. And which is, we're going to use it on the Meetup. So I'm going to call, and then you're going to give it a file name. And I'm going to call mine WorthPoint Meetup Graphic. So I simply type that in, and then I'm going to save it. And now it's saved on my computer. Now that I have that, I'm going to go back to my Meetup group. And at the top, you'll see home, members, sponsors. You guys know the drill because you all have meetups. Photos, pages, discussions, more. Then we have group tools, schedule a meetup, email members, group settings, and we're going to click on the money. Show me the money. So when you click on that, that's going to take you to where you're going to manage your sponsors. So you'll see all of the other options there. Manage contributors, manage paid meetup events, but we're going to manage sponsors today. And when you click that, you're going to add a sponsor. And it's easy peasy. We're just going to click on add a sponsor. And now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and fill out our sponsor information. Now you could put the sponsor name as a website. I never recommend people do that because sometimes people will read that and they'll go type it in. And then now if they go type it in, now you're not going to get credit for that. You're not going to get that cookie that people need to click on that lets you get paid for, because you get 10% of everybody that signs up. So it's really worth making sure. So what I do is I'll just put in the name. So I put in WorthPoint, comma, Inc., period. And then you can write a little bit of information, whatever you want to write about, but I just put hashtag what's it worth and then WorthPoint it. That is WorthPoint's newest tagline. And then where you see website, that's where we're going to add the link. We're going to go back to our dashboard. And to get this link, all you do is click on that little clipboard that is to the right of your referral link. And when you click on that, it'll highlight that link for you, and it suddenly becomes a part of your, what I call, mouse memory. I call it a mouse memory. So it's in my mouse, and it's there until I put something else in my mouse memory or I shut down my computer, but it's there. So once I click that clipboard, you'll see a pop-up that'll say copied, and there you have it. Now it's copied into my mouse memory. So now I can go back to the Meetup page, to the sponsor spot, where it says website. I'm going to simply paste that in. And when I paste it in, it'll be in place with my official reseller code. And now I'm going to add a photo. And you just simply click on add a photo. And now you're going to choose the file, and you're going to find that file that you just saved from that graphic in your computer. And I called mine Meetup logo. So it's going to pull in from my laptop, and then I just upload it, and it goes into place. And so now everything is complete. I've got my name, my information, the website referral code, and my graphic. And now I just click on Add Sponsor. So now the next thing it's going to ask you is, do you want to email your Meetup group about the sponsor? Now that's up to you. You can skip this step if you like, or you can make a little announcement which will give you the opportunity to have your reseller link just be shared with everybody on the list, or we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's basically whoever's subscribed. So we're going to click, I just put in, we're excited to share with you a great tool to help identify and value antiques, vintage collectibles, and art. Try it out. Whoever signs up gets a 7-day or 7 lookup trial with the Worthopedia, it's called. And then after that, they will be billed $19.99 a month. And you will get 10% of that every month for the life of their account. So if they cancel their account, then of course the party's over. Or if you shut down your account, then again the party's over. It's non-transferable. All right, so now we're going to send that out. And now it'll tell you your sponsor was successfully added. And that's all there is to it when it comes to adding a sponsor. So now let's go to the home page and just double check to make sure it all worked. So when you go to your home page, you kind of scroll down, and everybody knows the sponsors are on the left, and you scroll down to the lower left, and you'll see that's where they're located. You could actually click on add a sponsor from here once you have some in there. And then this is also a gear tool, and you could click on that and you could edit your sponsor as needed and change up. I suggest all eBay sellers, all website owners who are Meetup owners, this is a volunteer thing we do for our community. Everybody should market their own websites and their own eBay stores. You can get your logo in there for your own eBay store, your own website, and why not, right? All right, and then how you can make sure that the proper URL is in there. When you hold your cursor over the graphic, you'll notice down at the bottom on the left side, the URL will appear. And you'll be able to see exactly if it's proper in place or not. So that's just a little tip for you to make sure that you've actually got it up and running and it's in place. All right, so next, when you go to your group tools, group settings from your Meetup, there is a place for you to create your own profile questions. Now, I always suggest people have in there, what is your email address? And this will allow you to create a database of emails, because I'm sure some of you can relate to this. The emails that come from Meetup can be overwhelming, and a lot of people don't open them. So I don't know how many times I've had a Meetup and it's like, okay, how come you didn't come? Well, I didn't know about it. Well, how come you're not getting emails? Oh, I don't get the emails. I block them. So that can be a problem. So what I suggest, and what I've done for years, is I always have the question, what is your email address? And then I put it on a spreadsheet so that I can send out an email letting them know, and I don't email them too much like Meetup does. So I just email them and let them know what's happening, or what I want them to pay attention to. And then I keep a spreadsheet. So it's very simple. You're just basic stuff, first name, last name, eBay ID, email. And then as you go along and you get to know them, you could ask them their phone number. I don't recommend asking their phone number on the Meetup, but you can add that later, or maybe send out a survey. Depending on what email provider you're using, you could have a survey. Now, of course, those that know me know that I'm a Constant Contact solution provider. I've been with Constant Contact since 2006, and I went through their authorized local expert program. So I do a lot of presentations on email marketing because I know it works, and I know how powerful it is, and I have lists for all of my Meetup groups, and that's how I keep in touch with everybody. Now, email marketing plays a huge part. I don't care what kind of business you're in. Email marketing complements every business. 91% of people check their email daily, but they have to be subscribed, and they have to recognize your name and who it's coming from. 88% regularly check their emails on their smartphone. I think I read somewhere that people check their smartphones at like 150 times a day or something like that, but I thought, wow, my husband would argue with you that I check mine a lot more than that. So, but the point is, everybody's checking their emails. So email marketing can't be beat because it's so popular, and we all need it to survive with our businesses. So email marketing has 3 times the conversion rate as social media. And I didn't make this stuff up. If you go to Small Business Trends website, you actually can read all about that. So I didn't make it up. And for every dollar spent on email marketing, there's a $44.25 average rate of return. So that's pretty good. And that source came from Blue Hornet. That's also a website. Now, what I want to point out is from your Meetup group, if you go to Group Tools, Email Members. Now, you can email members directly from your group tools, but how many of them are really looking? That's the problem that we're running into. So that's why I recommend doing both, and trying to stay in touch, engage, and communicate with your Meetup members. Now, you can go through this and subscribe. See, you'll notice it says all members subscribe to organizer messages. So hopefully that you have the majority of the people are subscribed, but again, are they opening the emails? We don't have any way to monitor it. Now, if you're using Constant Contact or you're using another system, you actually can see how many people have opened your emails. And you could actually see who opened your emails and who did not open your emails. And if for some reason you say, oh, wait a minute, Judy needs to be at this event, she needs to know about this, and she didn't open that email, well, now you can pick up the phone and give her a call, if you have her phone number, of course. Okay, so as you're building your email list, you want to start a spreadsheet. If you don't want to, you don't have to go create or join an email marketing company yet. You can just work on building your spreadsheet for now and then get it all ready. And when you are ready, you can just go to emailspecialoffer.com, and that's got my referral to it. And then you can set up an account. It's $20 a month if you want to go check that out. And hopefully you'll make enough money on WorthPoint that you can just supplement it with getting an email service. Okay, let's talk about meetings. Now, meetings can be tricky, and I know you all are talented meetup organizers here, but I get challenged, and I'm always trying something new. And I've tried pretty much all of these. Now, I like to do, if I look at my meetup and I say, gosh, we're past due, I needed to have a meetup. So I organized one it's called Mojo's Grill. So we've got one at Mojo's Grill tomorrow night, and I just called it a casual, let's get your mojo on it, on eBay talk at Mojo's Grill. So what I did was, for this one tomorrow, I just put $3 fee, and then when we get there, everybody's going to pay for their own, and then I'm just going to make sure that nobody gives a tip, that I'll give the tip for the waitress. So that's one angle. Another angle I like to do is coffee at Panera for breakfast, or I've also done IHOP. Our IHOP here has a meeting area. It's not really a room, but it's a nice area that is very private. And I actually set my laptop on the table and my projector and was able to do a demo on the wall in the back of IHOP. So other people in the restaurant could see it, but that's okay. And then Denny's, our Denny's has a meeting room. Now we have another Denny's that's kind of bad. It's not a very nice Denny's, so I don't think I'd go there. But you kind of have to just check them out. And a lot of places, or things people didn't know about, is Firehouse subs. Now you have to call around, but there are Firehouse subs out there that have meeting rooms. I didn't know this until I used one up by Jacksonville, Florida. And they're not at all subs, but some of them have meeting rooms, and they've designed them that way so that people will come there and eat their subs and have meetings, and it has the big screen TV and everything all set up. It's pretty cool. And of course we got the libraries and the chambers. Now another thing that I did a lot the last couple of years is called Lunch and Learn. And Lunch and Learn will allow you to create a meetup where people can actually pay to come to. And I've done Lunch and Learns. I think the last big one I did was $89, and it was from 9 a.m. to 3:30. And then I stopped at Starbucks on the way and bought a big carafe of coffee. I think we only had like 12 people. And I bought a big carafe of coffee, and then I bought, I didn't have any treats. I just brought coffee. That was just how the morning went. And then for lunch that time, we ordered out, and we actually did Jimmy John's, and then I just passed around the menu, and then I ordered it, and then I paid for it. So the thing I didn't like about that was it took time away from our Lunch and Learn, where I had to stop and say, okay, what do you want to eat? And I had to pass around, and then I had to call Jimmy John's, and that's like 30 minutes taken out of your day just to order the stupid thing. So I didn't like doing it that way. The next time I did it, I had the college. I went to the college, and you want to check with your community colleges, because ours has a meeting room that you can rent, and they only charge like $70 for the meeting room. And it'll hold 30 people, and you can use all of their equipment. It's a great deal. And then they also have a culinary arts department that will do lunch or breakfast or whatever you want to do. So this time I did the culinary, I used their service, and they brought coffee and bagels in the morning, and then at noon they brought lunch. And for the lunch menu, I just chose like several things from the menu, and then I had it on a form, actually in Constant Contact, and I had everybody order after they paid their $89, and I had them pick out what they wanted for lunch. So that worked out really well. But my point is, I know you don't want to charge everybody for everything, but you can do some workshops like this where you do charge a fee, and it's for learning. I've even done Panera's for $49.99, and only had it limited to 4 people. And I sold 4 of them every time, and then it would only be for 3 hours. So we would meet just for lunch, and it would be like from 1 to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did 1 to 3, and then yeah, and it was like after lunch, so nobody really sat there and ate a bunch, but it worked out really well, and I could handle 4 people, and then those 4 people I could really concentrate on their eBay stores, and we could ask questions amongst ourselves, and that paid for my time. So that's something to think about, in addition to all of your regular kind of meetups. Now the thing is too, we want to grow our membership. Now Facebook is an awesome, awesome, awesome way to grow your membership. Now there's two ways on Facebook. One is a Facebook business page, which I feel is better and more successful. And then there is a group, which works, but it has some pros and cons. Now, on the Facebook business page end of it, if you just go into Facebook and create your page to match your meetup group. Now this works really, really well compared to a Facebook group, and let me show you. If you take the URL from the top of the page, so once you create your Facebook group, make sure, or excuse me, Facebook business page, and it matches your brand, you're using all of your stuff from your meetup group, and you copy that URL, and it's real easy. Give it the proper name. This one I called Atlanta eBay. And then now you copy that URL. Now, Meetup, Group Tools, Group Settings, Basics. This is where you would go, where the box is for you to, the public will see. So this is open to the public, this page, so everybody can see it. And there's some people that are Google searching, and they may find your front page. Maybe they don't want to join Meetup. Maybe they don't want to fill out that application and become a Meetup member, but they'd like to know what's going on with the group, or they'll see that that you're on Facebook, and maybe they want to learn more. So you want to paste a hot link to your Facebook page or your group right on the home page of your website. So you say, follow us on Facebook. And to make that hot, you would just highlight it, paste it in, and then highlight it. And then up at the top, you'll see the symbols. And we know we got bold, italic, to put indents. And then the next one, I always call it paperclip, but it's actually a link or a photo or a YouTube video. But if you choose the link, now you paste in the link address, and it will insert this hot link so that people can click it directly from your home page. So if people are thinking about stopping by or not, you can also show this Meetup photo, show your group's logo, or you can, of course, you want to show it and upload a photo, of course, if you want to upload anything else, and then save. All right, now Facebook groups. Now I know there's a lot of people that have Facebook groups. I actually have one too for my Heart of Florida, and to me it's just like a waste of time. And I hate to say that, but it just sits, and we know we're all in a busy, busy world. And when you have a group, you really have to have admins. You can't be doing it all on your own because you can't monitor it 24/7. So the most successful groups out there have a ton of admins. And so even then, you got to get people that are coming by, that they're monitoring it. But if you want your group to show on the page of your Meetup, it can't be closed, so it can't be a private group. It has to be a public group, or the link will not work when you put it out there or you put it on Meetup. People will click it, and only will they be able to go see it if they're logged into Facebook. So for those that don't, you know, not everybody likes Facebook. So just putting that out there. And then a group has to be, you have to be engaged. So people are asking questions. You got to always be monitoring it. On a Facebook business page, you can put all of your events up there, all of your meetings up there, and yes, you can still engage and you can talk to people, but you have a little bit more control. Now, not only do I create my events on Meetup, but after I create it on Meetup, I will go create an event, the same thing that matches it on Facebook. Because Facebook events now get picked up in these crazy search engines that are really popular, and they get a lot of attention. So I have a little schedule system. Boom, I create my Meetup on Facebook now, or excuse me, on Meetup. I create that's step one, create it on Meetup. And then step two, I go to my Facebook business page and create my event on there. And then, of course, for them, where it tells you ticket area for your event, you have it link back to your Meetup group for them to join. And then LinkedIn also has the availability for you to create events. My Constant Contact account has Event Spot. And personally, that's another big thing that I do, is I create my event in there, and then I have people register through that link, and then I'll take that link and I'll put that into my Facebook or into my Meetup group, and I'll say, yes, RSVP here, but also register here, because this will give me a proper count, and then now I can market that all over the internet, and I can actually have more people. A lot of times on my Meetup page, it'll show only like 12 people signed up, but I'll actually have had about 40 or 50 people attend. And then I can adjust that number, and they can see the photos that I really had that many people there. But it's because I'm marketing that, because honestly, not everybody likes to join Meetup. And I'll also send out an email blast. Now, the social share event links, that's also located in my Constant Contact account. So I will share all of my registration links all throughout Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook. I just share it everywhere. And that also helps get people to sign up for meetings. Now, if you need more details on that, I'll be glad to do another webinar. Just let me know. Now, here's the deal. I'm as part of our reseller program. When you get signed up for the reseller program, you get your link set up. As a Meetup organizer, I'm gonna allow you to book a webinar. So what that's going to do is we can together, like say you have a topic idea and say, you know, I've been wanting to do a demo on how global shipping works. Or I've been wanting to do a demo on how to research books on eBay, or sports memorabilia, things like that. So whatever it is, whatever you have in mind, we can together, WorthPoint will be your sponsor, and together we can do a webinar. So I just need you to send me an email with 3 dates and times that you would be interested in, and say, hey, Danna, would you be available to do a webinar on this date and time, this date and time? So send me 3, so then we can narrow it down to, I have to check my schedule when it would be good. And then we can brainstorm, we can jump on a call, we can brainstorm some ideas, some topic ideas. And the other great thing about it is we can have multiple speakers. So I'm speaking now, but I can switch over and let someone else speak, and then they would use their cursor, and then they would point out, we would see their screen. So it would go from my office to your office, and then you can talk about whatever you want. And you can also use that for local online event, so you can let people know that you would still create a meetup, but in your meetup it'll say webinar, sign up for this webinar, so no one has to leave their house. Everybody stays home, and then they all log in, and we have a meeting online, so it works out really well. And then, of course, WorthPoint's the sponsor of it, but guess what? You get to use your reseller link on everything that we're talking about. So you'll get credit for everything. So it's a win-win for everybody. So that's it in a nutshell. I think I've covered everything, and I can go see if we have any questions. So meanwhile, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, and you can contact me at danna.crawford@worthpoint.com, and watch for my follow-up email. So I'm going to stop the recording now and go to questions.